So the first step in assembling our exploding accordion book thing is actually just to prep the covers. So that will look like, when we're done with this step, something like this. So I have the chipboard in the inside and then a decorative cover paper, you can use whatever you want, to go on the outside and also to wrap around to the inside. I'll show you how to miter the corners so that it's nice and neat and not bulky, and also so that it doesn't show you any of the chipboard. You need to leave a little space there. So I have here a couple things. I have my cover, I have my chipboard, I have a little paste brush for the glue, and then this is the glue. If you have something like this, it's a neutral adhesive. Highly recommend. This brand is fine. There are others out there, but that will make your book last longer. It's also helpful to have some scrap paper about so that you can get the glue right off the edges. When you apply the glue, I like to go kind of in a star, like a radial out from the center. Just helps get nice even coverage. Oops. And this is why you have the scrap paper, because it's going to go right off the edge. And you don't want any big glops. Really just spread out a nice kind of even layer. It should be visible, but it's going to soak in fairly quickly after you get going. Okay. All right, so that's there. Now what I'm going to do is flip this on over onto my cover sheet. Make sure it's facing the way I want it to face. You could pre-trim this. I actually am just going to trim it after the fact. Really, either one is fine. Okay. I'm going to flip it over really quickly. I'm going to grab my bone folder, and I'm just going to burnish from the top, from the good side. That way I can make sure there's no air bubbles and that it's a nice and smooth adhesion. Okay, the next step after that is to trim away the excess. So you can grab yourself, if you have a cutting mat, an X-Acto blade, and a ruler, that's probably your best bet because it will keep it nice and even and be precise. Precise is good anytime you're doing bookmaking. Little tiny differences can make a big difference. You can also get things like a key stock to make all of these very, very even. I'm just kind of eyeballing it for today. Now, the trimming, this is important. You are not trimming all the way to the chipboard. If you trim that triangle there, you're going to see the chipboard. If you trim all the way here, you're still going to have bulk. So you need to leave kind of about the thickness of the board. So it's really kind of a slight amount. And again, doing that with all four corners. So it'll look something like this. Because what that will do is when we go to fold it in, there's minimal excess there. We can tuck that little bit in. Okay, so my edges are trimmed. One more time with the glue. I'm gonna get my scrap back out so I don't get glue on my cutting mat. Grab that, and I like to do the glue right on the little tabs. That way you don't have any excess kind of flapping about. If it gets on the chipboard, obviously that's fine. We're gluing to this surface anyway. All right, when I go to wrap it, I actually like to do the two short edges first and then the two long edges. So I'm actually kind of rolling onto the edge first, and then I'm gonna push it onto the board. And then for these little corners, I kind of just take my fingernail and push it down onto the flap on the other side. That's gonna help tuck it in a little bit. Okay, so it's a tiny, tiny little precision trick rather. And again, I'm gonna rock onto the edge there, and then I'm gonna pull it back on. I might not have worked quickly enough on that one. I'm gonna add a little bit more glue here. You can do glue on one side, one set, add it, turn it over, and then do the other side, because this glue does dry quickly. All right, and that is how you wrap your cover board. Nice and clean and precise.